We are live. Islam was first in the rising, give praise to Allah. Praise to Allah, Father of the universe. Honest to Noble Drew Ali. Honest to my grand sheep, Red Nature, Obey. Honest to my Moors online. Honest to Moors all over the world. Honest to Dollars G. Honest to Mornell. Honest to every peace. So yeah, it's long. Yeah, more so boom. We hit that live, but we live now. So yeah, more we on here with the brother Knowledge. And we are also on here live with Brother Mornell Bay. You know,
Islam to the Moors globally.
Islam.
Also known as now U.S.A. Peace to the Moors. Happy holy day to all Muslims all over the world.
Thanks. Yeah, man. So y'all can hear me, right? Because I can see the little light now.
Islam, I can hear more.
Perfecto. A little more Latin for y'all. Yeah, so more we gonna go in on the chapter 41, Inconstancy. And
we're gonna go in on that chapter key for key.
No, we're gonna go on that chapter for key, like the Lord said. And, we're gonna exercise our 6 senses.
Islam.
All right, cool. Yeah, so basically, I'm gonna start off reading verse 1. Nature urgeth thee to inconstancy, O man. Therefore guard thyself at all times against it. Did y'all hear that, Mars? Nature urges thee to inconstancy. Oh man. Notice that it says, oh man, but it's really a 0 there. It's a circle. It's a big circle there. The prophet put a circle there. So nature urgeth thee to inconstancy. And you see the big circle there. So that circle, what should I do? Should I give up that meaning, or should I just ask the people if they know what that circle means?
Go in, Mo.
Yeah, Islam. It's nature urgeth thee.
We the revealers of the light.
That's a fact. Nature urgeth thee to inconstancy, O man. Therefore, guard thyself at all times against it. So that circle is actually perfect man. That's that 7 standing upright. That's why the 7 is an angle, 90 degrees. So it's telling us that we got to be upright at all time. So it's saying to you, nature urges thee to inconstancy. O man, therefore guard thyself at all times against it. So thy nature, it's truth and falsehood strangely mixed. So, that's the reason why we can get urged into doing things that are not of ourselves, which is the higher self. So this is why the prophet put a circle there and said circle man, which is that circle represents the spirit, the all, the perfect man. So he's really telling us to be perfect, man. Guard yourself. Therefore, guard yourselves at all times against it. Saying. So Yeah, that's basically that's verse 1. I don't know. Y'all have any thoughts on that, or you want me to keep going?
I'm gonna just add on to that bill, brother Zamael.
As long.
Yeah, this is knowledge. I was just basically saying that even the word nature itself, nature is something that is always changing. You know, when you look at nature itself, we have seasons that come in and out. We have different weather conditions that come in and out, and the nature of man is a powerful thing because it's dealing with man's desire as far as what he wants and what he perceives an ideal to be. So every day, man carries in a wavering motion, changing his mind constantly. And that becomes inconstant because his nature is always urging things. Like these desires, like one day you will say, oh, I'm a vegan, or I don't want to eat meat anymore. And then you walk past a Kentucky Fried Chicken or a McDonald's or a barbecue spot, and all of a sudden that chicken smells so good to you, you're urgent to eat that. And the lessons that the prophet tried to bring out is so we could have stability in our consciousness where we know what is of the lower self and what is of the higher self. And our tools were given to us by us remaining within these lessons, these divine instructions, these holy instructions. And a lot of people think it's not necessary to attend a temple or be amongst temple Moors. And to be frank, most temple Moors are in these lessons, and they try to live these lessons to the best of their ability. And a lot of these Moors that are not in the temple, they are suffering because a lot of the urges that they may have outside in the world is against their divine nature. So the prophet tried to warn us to remain constant in our ways so that we could avoid the troubles that brings that being inconstant brings. And that could go on many levels, from you basically getting in trouble with policy enforcers, or you not even being productive in society, and that was supposed to be your duty to man, as far as being industrious and carrying on, taking on the affairs of man. So the heart itself deals with inconstancy because that is the nature of the lower self. With that, I say peace. Wow. This is Mornell Day. Maybe I can touch up a little bit more to it. Well, to connect on to, what both the brothers were explaining. Nature urges thee to inconstancy, O man. Therefore, God thyself at all times against it. Yes, you are correct when we talk about O man, meaning the complete man, perfected man. And that brings us back to chapter 1, the creation and the fall of man. And with that, he satisfied his load off. Allah already made him the Lord to rule over all those. So he has to, man has to not just be aware of the decisions that he makes because the urgency. Some things may come to him as an illusion, and the low self will grasp onto that. So that is wrong. That's what you brothers are saying. I was powerful, man.
It's long. Y'all can see me?
I can't see more. I got I can't be on the internet and call up the TikTok. But I'm here. I'm listening.
Do y'all, any of y'all see me? Cause like, I don't know. That's what
Oh,
I'm
you
saying.
hold on. Let me see if I see it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at
You trying to what?
I'm trying to look at the Quran at the same time. I'm looking at this. So, that's why I need to be in my hands. Almost looks like you stopped. It's live, but I can't see myself live. Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, but why would that be a problem?
Huh?
And why would that be a problem? If read what you gotta read. I see you. You have to see you.
I don't know if it's playing back or what. It's not showing nothing I'm doing. Okay, yeah, you can see the peace sign.
Yeah, I will see these signs.
All
I
right,
just
cool.
text you. I said I see you.
Yeah, I'm really new to this. But anyway, so yeah, Morse, that's cool. As long as y'all see me, I'm live and we know we live. All right, cool. So delivering from the loins of thy father inheriteth thou iniquity. How then shalt thou be firm? So you see, the prophet is saying various and wavering. That be firm. Those who gave thee a body, furnished it with weakness, resolution. Employ it, and thou art wise. Be wise, and thou art happy.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's we are from our mother's womb, various because it's a lot of us. It's different. We come from different mothers, but we all are one. We know that we all are one. You know, one before he gave us a soul. He gave us. He armed thee with resolution. Uh, is the actions as reasoning, willing, and thinking. So he's telling us to employ it, employ our soul, use our soul to reason, will, and think things. And then thou art will be wise and thou art happy. Because if you think things over and you constantly think things over before you do it, you're only going to do things that are positive. You're not going to do things that are negative to give you weakness, to make you be weak. You know what I'm saying? So you can stay firm. Y'all let y'all.
No,
Yeah, so
birch.
and I don't know if one of y'all want to touch on that on verse 3 and 2.
I think somebody. Islam.
Islam.
You want to go ahead, Mornell? Just to add it, yeah, I can add on a little bit. I think what the brother was saying was right and correct. It said, "Who gave thee a soul only with revolution?" So basically, gave you they gave you the issue you need to resolve the issue. So employing it, I'm thinking about working. So whenever we see employ, I'm thinking working. And that brings me back to thinking like, okay, creative think is that he made what? Function in the creative things that are made manifest. So with that being said, just us being on that plane where flesh is for it to be made manifest is actually telling us how, we picking and choosing our destiny. We're picking and choosing, whether, we're given a gift, basically. The whole manifestation, the reason why he made us ruler, Allah made us rulers of the land is because, going straight. We are one. Straight. Okay. I guess, now, you can touch a little bit on that. I'm sorry, I got cut off about it.
That was all good. No, you was right about that. We are masters of our own destiny.
Okay, you got it.
We are being tested, so this is why we have to be constant in what we're doing and exercise our strength, the will of Allah, which is the soul, like he's saying. We gave him the soul, Armdi, Armdi, because Armdi, when he said he gave you a soul, and Armdi, he's saying basically you are a spirit, and you're manifested on a carnal plane, which is the loins of your father. So, and we have this weakness because we have carnal, and that's the flesh, which is also the devil, which the devil is a tempter. So the devil will tempt you, the lower self will tempt you and say, yo man, don't do this, don't do that. And because we armored with that soul, we have be able to reason, will, and think. Like, no, we're not gonna be like that. We're gonna employ it and work for the soul, work for the thinking, and be ourselves, which is the spirit. It's the highest self within man, Allah and the flesh. Are you on the floor?
Yeah. It's long. Yeah, chapter 1 spoke of how creative faith gave me a soul so we could function as the plane of soul, and gave us a body of flesh so we could function on the plane of things made manifest. So Allah already knew that we was going to need to have the proper arm to protect ourselves on all the different planes. Because our nature has became so weakened to the point where a lot of us have forgot who we were as the higher self, as us being from the higher planes of things of thought, and the wavering and the inconstancy came from us just being born of fleshy things. So this is like a different aspect of man that is gonna always be a foe that third man gotta like trample or overcome. So we went through all the stages of life so we could see how the strength of Allah has been as powerful as it should.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, more.
So it's long.
It's long. All right, so we're gonna
just add on because inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man to begin with.
Indeed.
Inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. That was the first verse in chapter 40. So just to, break it down, we that inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. So there's a lot of things that, those urges and like you were saying, those desires and those, that intent, we have to guard the heart, so we have to, arm it,
Islam.
So,
Islam, the arm or the soul, like you said, the heart is the soul, more. The heart is the soul, man. And people say we think with our heart. So that's all to say.
Where's the closest place you can meet Allah?
In the heart. In the heart.
And the reason why is because that was the plane that we were on before we manifested.
Islam.
The soul plane is the plane of unmanifest.
True.
And that's why the only way we could see the spirits of the Holy One is if we see with the eye of the soul.
Indeed. That's true. All right. We're going to continue on. Number 4 is saying, let him who doeth well beware how he boasteth of it, for really it is of his own will. So let him who do well beware how he boasteth of it, for really it is of his own will. So he's really is of your own will. Like, so if you're boasting and saying, yo, I'm doing well, it's really most of the time it's not really of your own will. Because we do stuff and we're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just copped this new car, I just got this, new girlfriend, but really you just boasting and really Allah is all, so really it's not really you, it's just the will. The will is what made you get that. Allah is what made you inherit what you get. So you're boasting of it too much. Just because you're doing well, always giving praise to Allah. You have to always give praise to Allah, because you cannot be one without the other. You cannot say, yo, Allah need to help me to get some money. And then when you get the money, you don't say, yo, Allah, thank you for giving me the money. Can't say, Allah, I did wrong. I did wrong today, and for recognizing that you did wrong, you gotta thank Allah for saying, I like thank you for me able to be and eat today. Thank you for me tripping over a rock today. Thank you, Allah, for me getting my mail. Thank you, Allah, for me hurting myself to know not to do that anymore. You got to be thankful for Allah for everything. You can't just be thankful for just the good things that Allah does for you. That's all I'm saying. Like,
wow.
Islam. Y'all got anything about that one? Let him who doeth well beware how he boasteth of it, for really it is of his own will. Anything to add for that, or you want me to continue?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the faith itself, the will is dealing with the I am faculty of the mind, and the will is actually something that is action. Will is actually the one of the triune, which deals with the force, and the force is what drives things to manifest. And we know that Elohim is all things contained. causes these powers to be. And when the ether changes, then these things changes. So we should always remain in praise and thanksgiving onto the higher self for the things that manifest onto us in this realm or bestowed upon us in this physical plane. Because as much as we think that our own nature being wavering causes these things to be, is not so, because these things have already been ordained by the higher self to be. Because all thinking things contribute to the force being driven, which is the will to have things manifest. So we should always be in thanksgiving and praise unto the higher self, Allah, for all the things that we receive. And we should be, we always have gratitude towards that. Yes. And another thing too, even to know that there was somebody that was actually divinely prepared to bring us this true and divine creed of what we call Islam, which is a practice that's been carried on since time never was. Because before there was time, there was Islam. And we know this is the everlasting gospel sent from Allah to our forefathers and to his prophet, Nabi to Ali, to bring us out of our mental state of captivity, or it could be even our state of mind of hell. Like, we've been in hell for so long, it's kind of getting, we got used to it. True. And like even Yahshua and the Yahushua, the brother Justice, Jesus, and he showed the demonstration when he went into the plane of soul or the plane of unmanifest, he went there as spirit man. And he said a lot of our ancient forefathers from out of the captivity, even in the plane of soul. So it's an everlasting movement promised by the prophet. And we know that there's only one aim, one destiny, and one Allah. So that I hear look for.
Right. Yes. So we're gonna go into verse 5. It's not in the event of an impulse from
I know there's justice in the world, yes. I know there's justice. I know there's justice.
It's not the event of an impulse from without, born of uncertainty, enforced by accident, dependent on somewhat else. To thee and to accident is due the praise. So this is exactly what we was just talking about. It's not the event of an impulse, like you did it off impulse. It's from without, born of uncertainty, enforced by accident. So you're born with uncertainty. So there has to be a higher will that has to will us into doing these things that we know nothing of. So uncertainty enforced by accident, depending on somewhat else. To thee and to accident is due the praise. So even if it's an accident, like we were saying, it's still due. Allah is still due of the praise. You know what I'm saying?
Islam.
Right, Islam. Beware of irresolution in the intent of thy actions. Beware of instability in the execution. So shalt thy triumph over two great failings of thy nature. Yes. Beware of irresolution. So if you do something wrong and you don't, make a speedy reparation and say, yo, listen, man, I praise Allah, you know what I'm saying? I have done this wrong, and I'm asking Allah for you know, repentance and forgiveness for what I have done. All praises due to Allah, because it is of our nature, but we can still triumph over two great failings of thy nature, of our nature, by being aware of a resolution in the intent of thy actions. We have to make that speedy reparation and ask for forgiveness. Okay, so what reproacheth reason more than to act contrarieties? What can suppress the tendencies to these but firmness of mind? What reproach reason more than to act contrary to these? What can suppress the tendencies to these but firmness of mind? So, like we said, we gotta really be like on it. We can't just lack on it. Like this time it happens and then we don't stand firm and change our ways. We have to stand firm and keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Because what reproacheth, that means we, like, if we do it again, you know what I'm saying? If we do something and then we do it again and then we keep doing it, that means it's inconstant. Like we're not constant with suppressing the tendencies of these. You know what I'm saying? We keep doing it over and over and over. The inconstant feeleth that he changeth. Anytime y'all want to jump in, y'all can. The inconstant feeleth that he changeth, but he knoweth not why. He seeth that he escapeth from himself, but he perceiveth not how. Be thou incapable of change in that which is right, and men will rely upon thee. The inconstant feeleth that he changeth, but he knoweth not why. He seeth that he escapeth from himself, but he perceiveth not how. Be thou incapable of change in that which is right, and men will rely upon thee. So when you're doing something right, it's like the truth. It does not change. So it's telling you that when you do something right, it's the truth. It does not change. It's always going to be like that, and that's the reason why you feel it that you change it, because the truth does not change. You feel like you change it, but you don't know why. He escapeth. He sees that he escapeth from himself. So he escapeth from himself, which is the truth. He's not seeing that. He's not being real with himself. Because when you're doing something that's inconstant, it's not of thyself. It's not of thyself, of the higher self, to do that. Okay, I'm going to go into 9. It says, establish unto thyself principles of action, and see that thou ever according to them. Establish unto thyself principles of action, and see that thou ever act according to them. So you gotta be, you gotta be firmness of the mind, like the prophet was saying. Like you gotta be firm and establish unto yourself principles of action. Like, try to, like, repeat it 10 times. Like, like I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not gonna do this. And then you gotta be on yourself, man. Like you gotta know yourself, bro.
It's wrong.
You know what I'm saying? So that way you don't have to fall to these weaknesses and these infirmities. Number 10, it says, so shall thy
passions. Let me just add on to that real quick. Sorry. So,
Islam. Anybody got any questions or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just send a message through. I can see.
The brother, Yahshua, Yahushua, he basically was in the wilderness and he basically said it too. The brother, Justice, he was like, seeing that his flesh was strong, his inconstancy in the physical realm. True. And he spoke of it. He said, my lower self is strong. By many ties I am bound to carnal life. So he's saying that like he was bound to carnal life because he was in this realm. But he had to overcome by being what? By exercising his faculty, which is the will faculty of being willing. That willing deals with the workshop of the mind, dealing with the acts. And the acts represent cutting off undue parts and not all these desires that doesn't mean nothing. That is just straight folly. And he said, have I the strength to overcome and give my life a willing sacrifice? Because he's using the attributes of the soul, which is willing. And then after he done run through all of that in the wilderness, he said, away from me all tempting thoughts. My heart is fixed. You see? He said his heart is fixed.
True.
And I spurn this carnal self with all its vain ambition and its pride. And that I say is wrong.
It's long. That's true, Noah. Yeah, we have to have those principles and use our actions, you know what I'm saying? Which is our tools that we have in the workshop of the mind, like you said. You know, we want to be perfect men, so we gotta be constant with what we're doing. I know it's ever changing, but still we gotta vibrate at a higher frequency, which we have to stay in our higher self at all times, because we are the highest self.
Islam.
Then man. Islam. Okay, so shall thy passions have no rule over thee. Facts. So shall thy passions have no rule over thee.
And let me make this clear real quick though, Mo, because I don't want the viewing audience think that we are basically saints, that we not like basically suffering from these lower self urges also.
Yeah, we are.
But what we're saying, we're bringing it out so it could be discussed. So we could basically bring it to the forefront where we know where we need to work on ourselves. And that was the purpose of establishing the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, also known as the Moorish Science Temple of America. So we could basically commune and come in organized body where we could bring these matters to the table, and if others amongst us that have resolutions that they have resolved, they could share the methods used or the remedies used to overcome those urges, you know. And I met a sister, you know what I'm saying, a very powerful sister, Infinity Day, and she had shown me like various aspects of what we need to do to overcome certain like carnal desires, and a lot of it has to do with fasting, and a lot of our brothers and sisters are not fasting, and now we're in this month of Ramadan, and it's a very high spiritual discipline to fast, and very few people have fast throughout their lifetime, and the more you could fast, is the greater your spirit will be to overcome these ungainly desires. With that, I say peace.
Wow. Oh, peace. That's true, more like, because when you fast, you're just exercising the strength and the will of Allah, because you're not doing anything, you're not eating anything, and you just have the spirit, you have the soul, you're exercising, and you're not putting anything in your system, so you're not being tempted to eat. You're not, and that is purifying the soul. When you not eating, you're purifying the soul. You
That's
know,
right.
we are very spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. So we need to be ourselves at all times, because if we're eating but we're spiritual beings, not saying that you're not supposed to eat anything, you have to you have to eat, but discipline yourself.
Yeah, but part of himself, Mo.
Yeah.
Remember, man shall not live by bread alone,
No.
but by every word that comes out of the mouth, or every breath that comes out of the mouth. So before we was fruitarians and herbivores and all of that, we was breatharians. Every being of the seven planes, etheric planes, had his own nourishment of his own etheric plane.
That's right.
So our etheric plane was the plane of breath. We came from the plane of breath. So we didn't need nourishment from another plane. Remember, we fell. That's why we started getting nourishment from the other plane. That I say Islam.
Islam.
Just to add on to what the brother was talking about fasting, it's also detoxifying the body. And Islam, exactly, detoxifying. Wow. Powerful. Building and spreading truth and doing good deeds. It is meant that every Muslim, whatever you want to call it, do good deeds. Islam. Do nothing but good things. Don't curse. No sexual intercourse. All of this is just basically all down to detoxifying the body. So you got a pure state. So that's what I just want to add on. And I have been keeping up with the Ramadan this month. And I stopped to me, I just even stopped getting hungry. I can wait to start 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock to eat right now. I'm used to it now, not just the zikr, but just detoxifying my body in general and trying to, do the right thing and say the right thing. And what we're doing right now is the right thing. So we're going to continue with chapter 42 or 41.
Islamism. So shall thy passions have no rule over thee. Exactly what we're talking about. We purifying ourselves, to get out all the toxins out of our bodies and becoming one again with Allah. Because like the Moor said, we were breatharians at one point, and we get our nourishment from the etherical plane. And even though this is a third dimensional plane, we still are fifth dimensional beings, because we are spirit.
Wow.
And we are still fourth dimensional beings, because we have a soul, which is a garb, which is it's a mirror, it's a reflection, it's a shadow of the highest self. So it's keeping us stable in this. See, beware of instability in the execution. So we have to be stable, because we have a fifth dimensional being in a fourth dimensional plane, and a third dimensional plane, which is the physical. So we still in those etherical planes. We're just purifying ourselves. Like the Moors are saying, we are purifying ourselves to be one again with the law in our native plane.
That's right.
Which is the fifth dimension. You see me? But still, the prophet said, keep your mind and hearts pure with love. What? And what else, Morse?
And your body clean with water.
And your body clean with water. So yes, the prophet didn't say to eat. He said you can drink water. You know what I'm saying? He said you can drink water.
Islam. Islam.
You know what I'm saying? And I think about his tea that he has, the Moorish tea, which is a bodybuilder and a blood purifier, which you would use water and herbs to detoxify yourself, like the Moor saying. Get me? So yeah, Mo, we gotta be on it, man. We gotta be constant, bro, and not be inconstant, you know?
Islam.
Islam. So it says, so shall thy passions have no rule over thee. So shall thy constantly ensure unto thee the good thou possesseth. And I'm glad that you brought this topic up today, Nawiel, aka Knowledge G. Get me? I'm glad you brought this topic up today because it's like you said, we are not perfect ourselves, but we are striving to be that way, and we do want to open up the floors for everyone to add on and say anything they want to say, you know, and let's offer the questions and the messages you want us to convey also, and we're gonna stay here and build ourselves up. We're gonna build each other up. Okay. So shall thy, okay, I'll read it over. So shall thy passions have no rule over thee. So shall thy constancy ensure unto thee the good thou possessest. Huh?
Go ahead, continue, make it plain.
Okay, yeah, I'll read it over. So shall thy passions have no rule over thee. So shall thy constancy ensure unto thee the good thou possessest. So when you doing it constantly, it will ensure to you the good you possess, and then that will become constant instead of inconstant. It will become constant.
Wow, that's powerful, Mo. That was a great measure you just brought forth right there.
That's long.
Wow. Yo, you just made me remember this verse. I'm about to read it.
Okay.
It's from Biblio
Helios. It's long.
Yes, the Bible.
The Bible.
Biblio.
Yeah, man.
And in this verse is a verse that the prophet Jeremiah was basically bringing out, speaking on the Moors.
Okay. Jeremiah was speaking on the Moors. It's long.
It's chapter 13.
Chapter 13, Jeremiah chapter 13.
Hold on, 1 second. You get it real quick.
Okay. No, we just holding on for the brother to find the chapter in Jeremiah 13. So y'all can read along whenever he comes back.
Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 23.
Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 23, Morris.
And it reads, can the blackamoor change his skin? That's a question. Or the leopard, this is the Geneva Bible, the 1599 version of the translation of the Geneva Bible, Biblios. And so, can the blackamoor change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may we also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Islam. So that's what the brother was just referring to, meaning whatever you practice becomes your constancy.
Right.
What if you do good habits, it's natural for your habits to be good. Yes. If you have bad habits, it's going to be natural for your habits to be bad. So the constancy becomes whatever your desires are. That's why I speak about the nature and the urges in the beginning of the chapter. Oh man, your nature and your urges. because Allah, you know what I'm saying, appointed everybody his portion, and according to what measure seems, you know what I'm saying, profitable to him, onto himself.
Yes.
So a lot of us, we have our ways where we feel nobody could tell us nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, we our own deity, we our own gods, we our own beings, we our own sentient beings. So you can't tell me nothing, Mo. You can't tell me nothing that I don't know. But at the end of the day, there's a greater I am than the I am that you think you are. So that I yield for.
Islam. I'm going to add to what you're saying with verse 19 of this same chapter. It says, who shall say of the chameleon, he is black, when the moment after the verdure of the grass overspreadeth him? So the chameleon is naturally a chameleon, which is it will you know, adapt to its surroundings, and you know, be a part of all. Like, it can adapt to this, it can adapt to that. The chameleon is like a law. It's like, I can adapt to this, I can adapt to that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it says, who shall say of the chameleon he's black? Because the chameleon wasn't black at first. The chameleon was itself until when the moment after the verdure of the grass overspread it. So when the grass overspread the chameleon, the chameleon changed. And then because the chameleon changed, it says in 8, it says, be thou incapable of change in that which is right, and men will rely upon thee. So the chameleon is changing because it's different vibrations that's going on. It's a lot of things that making the chameleon change into whatever it comes against, but the chameleon is still the chameleon, and the chameleon does not change. It's just adapting to the surroundings. It's not, the chameleon doesn't change. The chameleon is being itself. So he's constant. So it says, so shall thy passions have no rule over thee, so shall thy constancy ensure unto thee the good thou possesseth, and drive from thy door misfortune, anxiety, and disappointment shall be strangers to thy gates. So yeah, we have to be constant in everything we do, and all the good that we do, we keep doing the good, and be constant in that. Suspect not evil in anyone until thou seest it. When thou see it, forget it not. So yeah, suspect not evil in anyone until thou seest it. So stop judging people and saying that, yo, man, he's evil. You know what I'm saying? I could just see it in him. You know what I'm saying? I could see he's evil, yo. But you haven't seen him done an evil deed. But yet you saying he's evil. Look, yo, he look like a killer. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, suspect not evil in anyone until thou seest it. When thou seest it, forget it not, though. Don't forget it. Islam. Who? This is 12, verse 12. Whoso hath been an enemy cannot be a friend. For man mendeth not his faults. How should his actions be right? Who hath no rule of his life? Nothing can be just which proceedeth not from reason. That's a deep one. Woo. Whoso hath been an enemy cannot be a friend. For man mendeth not his faults. Because he does not say to Allah, yo, listen, you know, I did something wrong, or you know, he's trying to, you know, resolution, making a resolution in the intent of our actions. You know, you gotta make a resolution to what you're doing. So if you didn't do that, that's why man mendeth not his faults, because he just keeps on doing the wrong things, and he's not asking for forgiveness. He doesn't care. You know, that's just become his second nature. Like he that become part of his nature. He just do it now. Like, you know what I'm saying, how should his actions be right? His actions are not right. So who hath no ruler of his life? So he have no rule over his life. He's not using his mind. He's not using his soul to rule his life. So nothing can be just which proceedeth not from reason. So that's what I was just saying. Like, how should his actions be right if you're not doing right? Who have no rule of his life? And he has no rule of his life because he's not using his mind, which is the soul, which is reasoning, willing, and thinking. So nothing can be just which proceedeth not from reason. So if it's not, so it's not going to be just, because you know just more in Moorish Latin, just is right. So when you hear jurus, just is right. So he's not right. Nothing can be just, nothing can be right, which proceedeth not from reason. So he's not reasoning. So how should his actions be right? Okay, I see that 13 is not here. One of y'all got 13 and can read it?
I'm gonna expound some more on that too, because
Okay.
you know there's some pointers that I heard you mention. It was definitely on point. The reasoning comes from us exercising action of the soul,
Right.
which is the mind. And we know that, you know, it's not in the flesh to think, nor is it in the bones to reason. But we allow the lower self,
right,
the lower self to think and reason for us. Yes. Yes.
It's long. It's getting deep
the lower
now.
self is thinking and reasoning, and that's what's causing all the chaos on this planet. Because what did the higher self say to the lower self? Where are you going, Satan?
Right. To the earth. Seeking whom I may devour. True.
So you know, we know that, you know, we can't allow the lower self to think for us. Right. Because when we do that, that's when we transgress against the divine order of things. And we know that's what we did when we lowered our vibration and start moving sluggish through the murky ethers of the flesh. And a lot of the wavering comes from us just allowing the flesh to do whatever it wants, whatever it wills, and we don't restrain it or pause it or put it in control. Yes. That I say Islam, I yield it to
Islam. Yeah, you're right. And making it inconstant. We're supposed to make those lower vibrations inconstant. Those should be inconstant. Our actions of our lower self should be it should be inconstant. And I realized that number 13 was how should his actions be right, who have no rule of his life. Nothing can be just which proceedeth not from reasoning. Yes, the inconstant hath no peace in his soul. This is 14, verse 14. The inconstant hath no peace in his soul, neither can be at ease whom he concerneth himself with. His life is unequal, his motions are irregular, his soul changeth with the weather. Mm. The constant have no peace in his soul, neither can he be at ease whom he concerneth himself with. His life is unequal, his motions are irregular, his soul changeth with the weather. Wow. Constant have no peace.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I mentioned earlier about the weather changing, and
Yes.
and that's nature. That's nature itself.
Yep.
So that's why I said, what did the higher self say to the lower self? Where are you going, Satan? So we know that it's in the nature of the lower self to be inconstant.
All right. Right.
But that is not the nature of the higher self.
Right. That's why the nature of the higher self is questioning the nature of the lower self. Like,
but to be honest, the higher self is above nature. The higher self actually holds nature in its harmony. Okay, so without the higher self, there wouldn't be no lower self.
mm-hmm. Yes.
Without truth, there wouldn't be no falsehood. That's why Allah be the causeless cause. We read this root for which all things are grown. And we know that
right.
Truth has no cause. The truth is the cause of it all.
Right.
Of everything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mornell still on the line? Yeah, more. Okay. Because he was asking one of the brothers to read and he didn't hear him.
Yeah, no, I made a mistake. I have 13 here. The way this one is set up is 13 and 14. I mean, 12 and 13 was side by side. It wasn't like a row going down. So yeah, it can't. Huh?
Really?
You said?
I can read on if y'all want.
No, I got it. I just was looking. I just didn't see it. I know that I see the way it's set up now. The verses. Well, I'll read. The inconstant have no peace in his soul. So because he's inconstant, he's not going to have any peace in his soul because his soul reasons, wills, and thinks. So if the soul reasons, wills, and thinks, then something that is inconstant is not going to be in his soul. The soul ain't going to have no peace if it's inconstant because the soul reasons, wills, and thinks so that it will have peace and be just and right. So it will have no peace. It will be the inconstancy is the lower self trying to talk to the highest self and talk to the soul and say, yo, listen, man, let's matter of fact, let's go this way today, you know what I'm saying? Because it's raining. But usually you will go down this path right here, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow. So it's just trying to trick you into do something that you don't want to do. And you already got a pattern in your life. So you're walking in that straight pattern, that straight path, but the inconstancy of the lower self is trying to make you inconstant of reasoning, willing, and thinking so that you can be just and right. Neither can it be at ease whom he concerneth himself with. So if he concerning himself with somebody else and he telling him like, yo, man, listen, yeah, you know what I mean? Or yeah, so you buy 5 tickets today, you know what I'm saying? You always buy 5 tickets every day for the lottery, but today I only want you to buy 1. So you can't even reason with someone else now concerning himself because himself thinking is like, bro, if I buy 5 tickets, I would have a better chance at winning. But you're telling me to be inconstant with that and go ahead and buy one ticket. So I ain't gonna have that much chances. His life is unequal. His motions are irregular. His soul changes with the weather. So he just
just to add on,
yeah.
Battles are always in constant. When you sometimes the decisions that you make have to change based upon the foe who you go against. So having indecisive decisions, which brings me right back to chapter 1. I don't know why I keep getting answers from chapter 1. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life. So a carnal nature was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things.
Yes.
Without a foe, the soldier may never know his sin, and so he is developed by the exercise of his sin.
Right.
And so the carnal nature soon became his foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of the law made manifest. And now in the next verse, it's saying, let every living thing still in here, man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest. So, just add back on to what I was saying originally, since we're talking about inconstancy and inconsistency. That's basically, this is what man has to be aware of. You have to know that this is your enemy. Your carnal nature and these carnal thoughts. So I just want to add on to that.
Yes, man, that was deep. That was good. I love that. That was very, very beautiful. You're right. In the creation and fall of man. So we fell. We fell to our lower self. We started to debase ourselves and started to do things of the lower self. And like you said, we got to be the will of Allah and exercise our strength, even though we have a carnal nature, which is the flesh. But we also have a soul, which is a garb that protects the spirit. And the reason and the willing of the spirit, the reason and the willing of the soul is not it's not the essence of the soul. The essence of the soul is our spirit. That's us. We are the essence. So we are really the highest self is in control at all times. It's just that if man does not realize this, that man and woman, when I say man, doesn't realize this, then the worst is yet to come. This is why the Moors are doing this live, so we can reach out more to people and have a, a beautiful discussion about knowing ourselves and the beauty of knowing yourself. The Prophet came to teach the Moorish Americans to be themselves. Islam. Yes, we're going to continue on. To 16 is saying, today he loveth thee, tomorrow thou art detested by him. And why? Himself knoweth not wherefore he now hateth. Today he loveth thee, tomorrow thou art detested by him. And why? Himself knoweth not wherefore he now hateth. And that's just like what Nariel said about the lower self.
It's like gratifying the lower self by giving up his work.
Ask him, where is he going? Where are you going, Satan? The high self says to the lower self one time when he seen him. Where are you going, Satan? Say, I'm going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. What is the action of the lower self? Lewdness, slander, hate. So himself knoweth not where he now hateth. You don't even know where that comes from. So that's why you got to know yourself. This is why we teaching people to be themselves. That's why the prophet founded the Moorshine Temple of America, to uplift fallen humanity back to the etherical planes with their Father God Allah, which is the highest self in the fifth dimension, which is the highest self within man, which is knowing thyself. 17 is saying, today he is a tyrant. Today he is the tyrant. Tomorrow thy servant is less humble. And why? He who arrogant without power will be servile, while there is no subjection. Today he's a tyrant. Tomorrow thy servant is less humble. Why? He who is arrogant without power will be servile, while there is no subjection. So, like you said, Mo, right? The power, the power is an illusion, but the power, we can use the power because we can be the force, which is we can be the will of Allah, which is using our soul to think and reason and will.
Islam.
Facts. And he has no subjection. So he has to serve the lower self. Thy servant is less humble. And why? He who is arrogant without power. Because he's arrogant. He don't know. He don't know he got power. He don't know he got something to subdue these things, which is the reasoning, willing, and thinking, the soul. So he acts as a detachment from Allah, which is not knowing that he has a soul. He can reason, will, and think. Not knowing the actions of the soul, thinking that the soul is the spirit, and not knowing the difference between the two would make you think that, oh, God made me do it, or the devil made me do it. But really, the soul is the balance in between, which is the heart. The heart chakra is the fourth, the chakra. So it's the between the seven to reach perfect man. So the heart chakra is the balance in between, which is showing you which way to go. That's why you have a soul, to reason, will, and think. Because you're either going to be the higher self or the lower self. And the lower self is the first three chakras. And the higher self is the 5, 6, and 7. God, equality, and the 7th is perfect man. So that's why we activating our senses and we going through these planes, different planes of existence, 7 planes of existence. Islam. Today, 18 says, today he is profuse, tomorrow he grudgeth unto his mouth that which it should eat. Thus it is with him who knoweth not moderation. Today he is profuse, tomorrow he grudgeth unto his mouth that which it should eat. Thus it is with him who knoweth not moderation.
Yeah, we got going on that word moderation, you know?
Yeah. He said today he is profuse. So today he's proven himself, right? That he can say, oh, I can use let me see, I'm gonna use you know what I'm saying, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, sprinkle on the chicken. It's gonna taste good, man. You know what I'm saying? And then he eat it and it tastes good. And tomorrow he grudgeth unto his mouth that which it should eat. So now he's changing his thinking to try to figure out what should he put now on the meal. You know what I'm saying? He's not certain, but when he profused today and he did it and it was good, he didn't stick with the constancy. Inconstant. So tomorrow he unto his mouth that which he should eat. It is with him who knoweth not moderation. So if he doesn't know how to be moderate. You know, he doesn't know how to rationalize himself. He didn't have to eat all of that food the first day, but he did.
And that actually reminds me of chapter 3 with the unity of life.
Yeah.
With the lower self. It said the lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. Mm-hmm. It offers pleasure, joy, and satisfying gain, what gives unrest, misery, and death. It gives men apples that are lovely to the eyes and pleasant to the smell. Their cores are full of bitterness and gall.
Right. Thanks.
Well, you know, that's you basically dealing with your lower self and not being moderate in your actions.
Right.
To avoid extremes.
Mm.
And if you are overindulgent, you're gonna find yourself being unrest.
Yes.
Of course, you're not gonna get no sleep. If you're overindulgent, you barely get rest. Not only that, you're gonna find yourself not at peace because you always feel like you gotta be satisfying somebody or even satisfying that urge.
Yes. That's true. And now you might hurt somebody for that.
So what the prophet trying to give us is a resolution dealing with the nature of inconstancy. Like basically, even though we are inconstant, we can still find time to be moderate in our inconstancy. So, like, that's why we have holy days. Days that we could take off and just build on these holy instructions. And that's why we could just congregate and build on these holy instructions.
It's long.
And we have times where we have more where we could build even on a private level where they just when 2 or 3 or more gathered, they shall Allah be in the midst. So we know that we always got to be going in moderation when we deal with our nature by us coming and having these holy meetings. That I say is long.
It's long. Yes, that's so true. You know, and like he said, it's he's eating all that stuff or he's doing those things, and now he's overwhelmed by himself to where he has to say, "Damn, why did I eat so much, or why did I do so much? I didn't have to do as much today." So now he's feeling like he's doing too much, and now he feels like he shouldn't do it anymore. All right, cool. I did a little bit today. You know what I'm saying? Now I have something for tomorrow to do, and I'll finish what I have to do, and then everything will be in alignment. Today I'll finish this today, but then tomorrow I won't know what to do. So you got to be moderate in the stuff that he does. You know, so that he will have happiness within himself too as well.
Wow.
It's wrong. 19 is saying he says, I mean, sorry, part so who shall say of the chameleon he is black when the moment after the verdure of the grass overspreadeth him? And the verdure, he said, yeah, the verdure. Okay, let me read that again. Who shall say of the chameleon he is black when the moment after the verdure of the grass overspreadeth him? Yeah, because he's changed it. He's changed it.
What's the word you just said? Virtue?
Verdure. 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 I'm gonna look it up right now. Verdure. Verdure. Verdure means lush green vegetation, fresh green color of vegetation, a condition of
So what it's saying
freshness.
is that he shall call the chameleon black,
Right.
which is not what his character is in that aspect of his environment. Meaning, you cannot call something what they're not. Justice, when he was in the wilderness, when he said, basically, the man is the son of Allah because he does miracles. He
Right.
said, my thoughts, words, and deeds would speak for itself.
What's that last,
Islam, so, huh?
that last part you just said for himself? We said. Can you repeat
He
that?
said, my thoughts, words, and deeds would be my proof of my messiahship.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, him being himself, he's doing the works.
Yes.
He's not wavering. He's constant in his duty. When his mother was looking for him and she found him in the temple, arguing, or did her father's work?
Right.
The last thing is Islam.
Islam. You're right. You know, that's who shall say of the chameleon he is black, right? When the moment
And that
after the verdure of the grass shows that he's green. So if you no
what
pass
is
away,
black? What is black?
black according to science means death.
Exactly. Or absence of light.
Yes, or absence of life.
Meaning without the knowledge of self. You know? Meaning without the knowledge of self. Wow.
Yes, that's a fact. Yeah, yeah, he's not. He truth changes. No passes away. So just because the grass overspread it over him doesn't mean that he is changing. You know, and you're gonna call him black because you killing his character. His character is not gonna change because he's a chameleon, and his character is to adapt to everything. So really, he's not changing when he adapts to anything. He's just being himself.
The recording.
All right, y'all gotta go out.
Wow.
Go to mommy, please.
Mommy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying though. that the chameleon adapts, but that's the chameleon. The chameleon is not changing itself because it changed to green or anything like that because of the verdure. It's not changing at all. He's just being himself, which is the truth.
Well, what I was getting from that also is that the chameleon is green, but somebody else would call it black. Something it's not.
No.
It's wrong.
Can you take them out of here because I'm on the phone? Yeah, it's
Islam.
Who shall say of the inconstant, he is joyful, when his next breath shall be spent in sighing? Which we already know that means who shall say of the inconstant, he is joyful, when his next breath shall be spent sighing? And we already know he's going to be sighing, so he's going to be sad. So how are you going to say that he's joyful? Because he don't know what to do next. So he's sighing, like, what I'm gonna do next? I'm hopeless. I don't have no will. So I'll be sighing.
Islam.
What is the life of such a man but the phantom of a dream? In the morning he riseth happy, at noon he is on the rack. This hour he is God, the next below a worm. One moment he laugheth, the next he weepeth. He now willeth, in an instant he willeth not, in another he knoweth not whether he willeth or not.
Sporadic.
Yeah, so he's constantly changing. So he's not constant in anything. Constantly changing. So he's not constant. He's inconstant.
Yeah, born blessedness, happiness, and peace.
Say that again, more?
He's poor in blessedness, happiness, and peace.
Yes. Indeed. You see now, 22 says, yet neither ease nor pain have fixed themselves on him, neither is he waxed greater or become less, neither hath he had cause for laughter or reason for his sorrow. Therefore shall none of not he's not able to say, like, why am I happy, or reason with himself and think and say, yo, this is the reason I'm sad. This is the reason why I have a lot greater, and this is the reason why I have less now. This is the reason why I laugh, and this is the reason why I'm sad. Doing something right now. Go back in the room. Yes,
you got something, Mornell?
Go back in the other room, Mark.
I got it.
Go back in there.
I mean, it's just adding on to what 22, which is summing it all up, to bring an analogy of his inconsistencies. How can, he's all over the place. So how can something sit with him? Or why would it be a with
constantly changing? Truth changes not. So he keeps on changing, and he's not going to know himself.
Wow.
because he's never going to come to the truth.
That's right. You know, we are the people. More so, I can definitely resonate with them one because sometimes I have those actions and those thoughts of being undecisive and being sporadic and expecting and knowing that I'm changing and thinking that I'm changing for better intent, which leads me to nowhere because of my inconsistent and one thing is I have no common base. Therefore, a wise decision is never going to be made.
It's long.
Well, the wise man changes his mind often.
That's true. Changes his mind often, so he can become what he knows. He changes his mind often. You're right.
Well, it can lead from urges and desires. You know, for what you see is what you want. For what you see is the illusion, or the illusion. So therefore, be gratified below self.
That's right. That's right. So you're gratifying the lower self, and the lower self is an illusion. So as he stays constant with his lower self, he can't even see his real self, his true self, because he's so inconstant with his true self that he's constant with his lower self. But his lower self are illusions, like you said. It's illusions. So he's not really seeing his true self. He's confused. He's confused like that. Go in another room. Take them in another room, please. Yes, Moss. It's long. I'm gonna continue on. 23 is the happiness of the inconstant is a palace built on the surface of the sand. The blowing of the wind carried away its foundation. What wonder then that it faileth? Read that again. The happiness of the inconstant. Come out the room. Come out of the room. The happiness of the inconstant is a palace. The happiness of the inconstant is a palace built on the surface of the sand. The blowing of the wind carried away its foundation. What wonder then that it faileth? So why would you even wonder if it's gonna fail if this was built on the sand? The happiness of the inconstant is a palace built. So this illusion is built on something that is not stable. So it's instability. So it's not firm. Like earlier on in this chapter, we read about being firm with our mind. So it's not firm. The surface of the sand is not firm. So the blowing of the wind carried away its foundation. And what wonder then that it faileth, because there's an illusion. So once it carried away its foundation, it's almost like it's weeping away. It's almost like a burning house. You know, it's burning up, and if you don't put the water on it, it's going to turn into ashes and blow away. So the water is the water that we're going to use is the truth. And this age time right now is it's a preparation age um of the soul, right? And of Emmanuel, right? So that water that was being poured out to out that fire would be the truth, just like the
Yeah.
Aquarius pouring out the water, the truth on
Islam.
everything, the holy breath. She, the holy breath,
Yeah.
it will reign in this earth, Mo.
Right.
Facts, facts, and all of that lower self will wither away.
Putting out that falsehood, right?
What that?
Extinguishing that falsehood.
Distinguishing that what?
Falsehood.
Falsehood, yes. Facts. Distinguishing that falsehood. Distinguishing that. Facts. All right. Islam. We're gonna continue on. It says what one that it failed. Yeah, because if it's an illusion, it's gonna fail anyway. It didn't even exist to begin with. Why wonder? It says what wonder then that it failed is. So why would you even wonder about it's gonna be failing if you built it on falsehood? It's an illusion.
And we know that everything that we perceive with the human eye are but illusions and will pass away because there was a time when it wasn't.
That's right. But that's the reason why Allah gave us the soul, that we can reason, will, and think on this ether's planes. Because with the soul that we were given, we're able to see all of these things on these different planes of existence, the 7 planes of existence.
That's why he said the mastermind see things for what they are, not for what they appear to be. Because things that is appearing is just a reflex of the ethers vibrating so slow.
Mm-hmm. It's long. It's long. Facts. All right. It's long. Give thanks. 24. But what exalted form is this, that hitherward directs it even its uninterrupted course, whose foot is on earth, whose head is above the clouds. Wow.
Wow.
That is a big illusion. But what exalted form is this? The shadow. Right? It's a shadow of the lower self. The lower self is a shadow, and it shall pass away. But what exalted form is this? Call itself God all the time. What does Satan call itself? God.
Exactly.
But what exalted form is this? It's to Satan, the lower self. That hitherward directs it even its uninterrupted course. Because they keep on, the lower self keeps on directing the path of the higher self within man, and it's supposed to be the other way around. The higher self is supposed to direct the soul, which is reasoning, willing, and thinking, to control the lower self, which is the carnal thoughts. Whose foot is on earth, whose head is above the clouds.
Like you said, that's a big ego.
Facts.
That's a big illusion.
Yeah, whose foot is on earth, whose head is above the clouds. That's a big illusion. Right, like, but we know that Allah is all. So that is the reality. That is reality. Go.
La ilaha illallah.
La illallah. La ilaha illallah. It's the purification of the soul. The only reality. Allah is the only reality.
Islam.
There is no one else worthy of praise. Allah is the only one worthy of praise. Everything else is an illusion. La ilaha illallah. Facts.
Though the sun is his noblest image,
Sufi beads on.
worship it not.
Right, worship it not. It's his noblest image. Because Allah is worthy of all the praise. Facts. Facts, more. Okay, we're going to go into 25. On his brow sitteth majesty. Steadiness is in his port, and in his heart reigneth tranquility. So that's what we were talking about just now. Like, what did Satan call itself at some time? God. On his brow sitteth majesty. Like he's king, rule over everything. In this carnal life. In this third dimension.
And Lord over the underworld.
Yeah, Lord of the netherworld. But are just illusions. Facts. Just illusions.
Remember,
yeah.
According to the fallen creation of man, there was seven ethers created the Elohim created the boundless universes, and seven ethers was and thirds also manifest. When you talking about the illusions, Elohim also created the illusions also.
Islam.
And then who created the devil? Elohim. How you doing? All right.
That's true. That's Elohim. Right, the devil. Who created Elohim? I mean, who created the devil? Elohim. So that's why he's so steadiness in his port. He's steadiness in his port. Because on his brow sitteth majesty, and that's where you on your brow, which is your eyebrow, is when you start thinking, your eyebrows go up. So when your eyebrows go up, you're thinking, reasoning, willing. You're using actions of the soul. But when you're in constant of using the willing action and reasoning of the soul, then Satan is steady in his port. He is very stable in his port. He's able to rock out. He's able to do whatever he wants to you. And you don't even know. You don't even know what's going on. He's just controlling you with the flesh, the carnal self, and carnal thoughts, which are illusions. And his heart reigneth tranquility. See? And his heart reigneth tranquility. So tranquility, if his heart is reigning tranquility, come on, I'm doing something here. No, I'm not. I am not. I'm not doing that at this moment. I will come and do it. I will come and do it. Okay. 2:41. I will come and do it soon. Please. I'm doing something here. 2:41. So that means in 10 minutes, you know what you gotta do. You pick up a line. Islam. I'm not. You are picking it up. Islam. Let me get back to my our lesson here. Pardon self, Morse. Family duties. Yeah. Yes, and in his heart reigneth tranquility, right? So in his heart, as we know that the soul resideth in the heart and is reasoning, willing, and thinking. So if this person that's inconstant is letting the carnal self, the lower self, reign over his heart. That's why he's in tranquility. Because he's supposed to train the heart to be the will of Allah. So we'll get the definition of tranquility.
Tranquility is calm.
Calm, right?
Yes.
The state of being tranquil, calm, right? Islam. Thank you, more. So tranquility is calm, and his heart reigneth tranquility. So he's calm in knowing that he's living in a false life, a false reality. So he's calm. He don't gotta raise his brow too much because he's already thinking that he's high up already in this life. So he's actually constant in doing the things that keep him in a false reality. I'm very calm with it. That's why it's raining in his heart. It's ruling his heart. It's ruling his heart because he's so calm. Really, you're supposed to be active. You're supposed to be up. You're supposed to be moving and doing things and thinking. So because you're so tranquil and calm, you're not really using the actions of your soul. So it has no place for it in the heart. So how are you making this reigneth over your heart? How are you making your lower self reign over your heart? Your soul, which is reasoning, willing, and thinking. All right, it's long. Though 26, though the obstacles appear in his way, he dineth not to look down upon them. Though heaven and earth oppose his passage, he proceedeth. Though the obstacles appear in his way, he deigneth not to look down upon them. Though heaven and earth oppose his passage, he proceedeth. Wow, that's a deep one. Okay, though the obstacles appear in his way. So whatever he's seeing is an illusion. He deigneth not look down upon them. Let's see what this word deigneth mean. I would like to go into the etymology of that word deigneth. 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 Okay, let's see this word right here. Deigneth. D-E-I-G-N-E-T-H. So deigneth means a third person. Deigneth is a third person. Y'all got that, Moss? Deigneth is a third person. So though obstacles appear in his way, he deigneth not to look down upon them. So something.
D-E-I-G-N?
D-E-I-G-N-E-T-H.
Well, I got from the dictionary, I'm reading from New World Dictionary, Second College Edition.
Mm-hmm.
I have to deem worthy.
It says to deem worthy?
Yes.
To deem worthy? Okay.
Yes.
To deem worthy?
Yeah, and I'm sorry to pardon myself real quick. I didn't get to chime in when you were reading on the tranquil. You can read that passage again, even the one above it, because we could look at what you read was the aspect of the lower self on that particular passage, gave the degrees on it being dealing with the lower self. But there's also degrees on those passages that's dealing with the higher self. And the higher self is the one that remains tranquil because it's the only thing that can experience peace and blessedness and being at in harmony with all of life. Because even though the lower self may act like it's full of all these riches and promises and all of that, it doesn't bring peace and it doesn't bring happiness. So the only way we could experience tranquil is by us being constant with our blessedness and keep everything in harmony with Allah.
Islam. That's a fact, though.
And that's why the passage, and that's why the key right after that is still talking about the higher self.
That's true.
In this inconstancy, it's a battle between higher and lower self.
Right.
So all throughout the chapter is going up and down, dealing with both the higher self and the lower self. Islam, are you looking for?
Islam. You still want me to go back to 24 or not?
No, you don't have to.
Now you cleared that up.
Yeah.
You cleared that up. Islam. It says, though 26, though obstacles appear in his way, he deigneth not to look down upon them. Though heaven and earth oppose his passage, he proceedeth. Okay. So yes, you're right. So though obstacles appear in his way, you said deigneth meant what, Mornell?
Deign means to be worthy or to think you cannot believe with dignity, to do something.
To do something. Okay, so yeah, so he deigned to do. Okay, so do something. Though his, yeah,
he's worthy to do the will of Allah.
Right, right. Though the obstacles appear in his way, he, being deigneth, not look down upon them. So he's not right.
It doesn't bother him.
Right. He's still not. Don't bother. Right. He's still not hating them for who they are. He's not looking down upon them to hate them for who they are, and he's not focusing on that. To
so
keep
even though he's not looking down upon them, it's still showing that he's still a higher frequency.
Right.
Higher thought form.
Right.
And that's humbleness.
Islam.
That's blessedness.
Heaven and earth oppose his passage, he proceedeth. See, heaven and earth, though heaven and earth oppose his passage, he proceedeth. Because heaven and earth, we know, is a state of mind. So he's conquering heaven and earth and proceeding, moving forward. 27 says, the mountains sink beneath his tread. The waters of the ocean are dried up under the sole of his foot. The mountains sink beneath his tread. The waters of the ocean are dried up under the sole of his feet. So I'm thinking that he's realizing, coming to realize that he doesn't need all these things. The mountains sink beneath his tread. The waters.
He already got what it takes.
Yeah.
To show the world that he placed with him, because he said he that created the soul, or who that gave him the soul, also armed him with and that there is no failure for the human spirit, human clothing soul, because as long as Allah lives, man cannot die.
That's right. That's right. So he keep on proceeding, because he know he's not gonna die. He's one with the law.
Wow.
The mountains sink beneath his tread. The waters of the ocean are dried up under his sole of his feet. Facts. Oh, shit. What happened to the call? The call was ended. Wow. I'm gonna have to call these Moors back. Moors, we still live though. But I will call the Moors back to have on the live feed. Call Mornell first, and then I'll call Zamael as next. Yes, more. So yes, we're gonna have a brief second. Islam.
Yeah, sorry about disconnect. I don't know what you got.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, when we building like this.
Hello?
Yeah, more. Hold on a second. Islam.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, when we're building like this, more. You know the alphabet boys is gonna try to mess with us.
Yeah, the phone got disconnected. I was saying,
Yeah.
I have to close out soon because I can't continue on the line.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, we about to close out soon. It's only 4 verses, 6 more verses. I'm gonna read them quickly. The 28 says the tiger throweth herself across him. The tiger throweth herself across his way in vain. The spots of the leopard glow against the unregarded. The tiger throweth herself across his way in vain. The spots of the leopard glow against him unregarded. Even the tiger throwing himself at this person is still in vain because he knows himself. He knows what to do. The spots of the leopard glow against him unregarded. So the spots of the leopard, you will recognize the spots because you are recognizing the truth, and you will see what is coming. 29 is he marcheth through the embattled legions. With his hands he putteth aside the terrors of death. That's a deep one. He marcheth through the embattled legions. With his hands he putteth aside the terrors of death, which the prophet showed us how to conquer death. You know, we already know that we don't die. That's what you just said. You know, we don't die. We're one with the law. So in all his embattled legions, which are the battles that haven't come yet, with his hand he putteth aside the terrors of death. So he fights them head on, trampling them.
Also, there's a holy ministry in death.
Yes. There's a holy ministry in death. Islam. The holy ministry in death, you already know, is that death is not a foe to man, it is a friend. You know that when it's done, it's work. It's cut the cord that bindeth him to lower to carnal, to his carnal self, so they can sail on smoother seas. Islam. Storms roar against his shoulders, but are not able to shake them. The thunder bursteth over his head in vain. The lightning surfeth, but to show the glories of his countenance. Islam. His name is resolution. He cometh from the utmost part of the earth. He seeth happiness afar off before him. His eyes discovereth her temple beyond the limits of the pole. Let me read that again. His name is resolution. He come from the utmost part of the earth. He seeth happiness afar off before him. His eyes discovereth her temple beyond the limits of the pole. So before you even reach to the finish line, we can see beyond the limits of the pole. We can see ourselves already won. We already triumphed over these passions. He walketh up, he walketh up to it. He entered bodily. No, he walketh up to it. He entereth boldly, and he remaineth there forever. So resolution is a place where Allah will be able to speak to you and guide you. He walketh up to it. He entered boldly, and he remaineth there forever. So that means that will be our principle. Resolution will be our principle. Establish thy heart, circle man, in that which is right, and then know the greatest of human is to be immutable. That's the last verse in the chapter. Establish thy heart, O man, in that which is establish thy heart, O man. It's a circle right there. It's not even an O. It's a circle. Establish thy heart, circle man, or spirit man, perfect man, in that which is right, and then know the greatest of human is to be immutable. Unchangeable. Right. Once you establish your heart, right? And we dwell and remaineth there forever. We don't change, because the truth doesn't change. Unchangeable, Moors.
The battle is already won. He rising like the sun.
The prophet had already won. Rising like the sun. Melting all the cold hearts, shining in the damn dark. Unity when we apart.
And that body that we supposed to take on is a flesh divine. Yes, and that's the unchangeable body, because that's human spirit clothed with soul. And Yahshua, Yahushua, Brother Justice, already demonstrated that. The prophet already demonstrated that also. That's why he said I could do better works for you on the soul plane. Yes. Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, but close out, though. Close out.
Okay, Mo. Yes, Mo. So we're gonna close out. I would like to say peace to all the Moors. Thank you for tuning in to More Views U.S.A. And we'll see you next time. Moors, y'all want to say anything before we close out? Yeah. All right, so we're gonna close out.
All right, Islam.
All right, man. Peace and love to the Moors. Islam, Moor. That was a great build, Moor. Wow. Facts.
So we gotta keep this constant, you know.
Yeah, we gotta keep this constant. Facts.
I appreciate this for the distance that I'm at. So I definitely appreciate this bill. We can definitely do more like it. This time for our intro, we'll probably have our music playing in the background. We mute whenever we go through things. Like if I'm dealing with something, I'll put my phone on mute, so that way I'm not distracting the other brothers who may want to build on the topic.
Okay, Mo. All right, so I'm
That's what I was doing a few times. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna rise. I'm gonna rise and give all praises to Allah.
Wow.
Say the Morse prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day. Through His holy prophet, Nabi Ali. Amen. Amen. Islam, Morse. All right, so Morse, I'm gonna talk to y'all later, man. All right, peace. Peace. God, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, Ali. Amen. Peace.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Daddy? Dad, what are you doing?
Sign off.
I don't know. Well, what's on your arm? Daddy, you caught this with me, Mom. You got this, Daddy. Please.
Where's your mother at?